11.3% of the population in America has diabetes. 1.4 million Americans are diagnosed with diabetes every year. The medical cost per year is $237 billion. Diabetes, it's everywhere. This is the Embrace Podcast. Diabetes is everywhere. It affects all age groups, all ethnicities, all walks of life. And on this show, we talk about diabetes awareness, current events and news, tips, advice, motivation. We'll speak with guest speakers. Welcome to the family. This is the Embrace Podcast.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Embrace Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon, and today we are going to be going through another chapter of our brand new guide coming out, the Ultimate Parents Survival Guide. It's all about how to navigate diabetes, how to become the confident leader that you need to be for your child through this new curveball life has thrown at you. So I'm super excited to get into that. This one, I have to say without a doubt, my top 3 favorite chapters for sure. Last week and the week before that, we went into some of the basics, blood sugar control, insulin, things like that. And this week we're going to go dive a little bit deeper because I feel like a lot of us know about the blood sugars and the insulin and all that good stuff. But I want to dive into the things that I wish that I knew or my parents wish they knew coming into a diabetes diagnosis. But before we get into all of that good stuff, I want to do a few announcements. Again, this month is National Diabetes Awareness Month. And to celebrate, Embrace is announcing a new announcement every single week. Last week we announced this guide that's going to be coming out November 14th on National Diabetes Awareness Day. If you pre-order that now, you get a free audiobook version when that comes out in December. Side note, I'm going to Georgia to celebrate Thanksgiving and my dad's birthday in November. It is November, but in like 2 weeks. So I'm going to be spending 2 weeks with my mom, and we're going to do the audiobook version of that. I think it would be really special if my mom actually does the audiobook version of that, and then we're going to have an abridged version where she'll read through the book, and then in between chapters, her and I will have a conversation, podcast interview type vibe, where I'm going to ask her some questions, some inside stuff about what she was going through, what we were going through, and what that new diabetes diagnosis kind of looked like. So hopefully you can relate to that. If you're interested in that, getting the audiobook version for free, go ahead and pre-order our ebook version that's going to be coming out on the 14th. It's only $10, and all proceeds go back to the Embrace Foundation. And yesterday, we announced our brand new program, Sincerely Your Diet Buddy. It's a brand new program that we are introducing that connects you with a diet buddy. So we have there's three kind of corners to this program. The first one is connecting you with the pen pal. So essentially you go on, fill out the form, you put in your name. If you want to put your name, you can stay anonymous. You put in your email address or your mailing address if you want a handwritten letter. And then you put in your age so we can connect you with someone your age. And then lastly, a little bit about you, some of your hobbies, some of your likes. So that way, hopefully, if we get enough people, we can connect you with someone who has similar interests. So I'm really excited about that. This month, this Diabetes Awareness Month's theme, this year's theme, is embracing the negatives that come with diabetes and finding solutions for those negatives if we can. So hopefully this is one of those solutions to feeling alone. I remember when I was diagnosed, I felt really alone. There was no one I could talk to that could understand. All of my siblings obviously didn't have diabetes, but they didn't have to dose, they didn't have to test, they didn't have to wait 20 minutes before they ate. They were able to have the fun ice creams and stuff, and I didn't get to have those things. So I felt very alone in this thing. And no one at school had diabetes. None of my friends had diabetes. It wasn't until I went to diabetes camp that I was able to connect and find diet buddies. But other than that, the only other person that I've met that has diabetes is a coworker like last year. So that's 20 years later, I found someone who had diabetes outside of a diabetes camp. So I think this is a great way to connect, find a new friend, hopefully a lifelong friend. A lot of relationships are online nowadays with social media and things like that. And I think this is a great way to hopefully find a good friend for you, and to have someone to be able to talk to and to vent to and to listen to, and just hopefully form a solid friendship with someone who is going through the same thing that you are. The next part of this program, if you don't want to sign up to go back and forth with somebody, you can simply sign up to receive a letter of encouragement. Again, that can be done through email, or if you want to receive a handwritten letter, you can enter in your mailing address, but you can stay completely anonymous. And all that we ask is that you again put your email or mailing address, and then literally type out all of your problems, everything that you're going through. Hey, my pet passed away this last month, and my diabetes has taken a back seat. Hey, I lost my job and my blood sugars have been fluctuating, XYZ. I want you to literally lay out everything that you're going through. And right now we have a team of 5 encouragers, and hopefully we get more that sign up, that will be able to see all of the things that you wrote down and directly address those things to comfort you, to encourage you, to motivate you. Again, you are going to be staying completely anonymous. So we hope that can provide some encouragement or a little pick-me-up. Again, this month is all about embracing those negatives. So when you're feeling a little bit of a diabetes burnout or life has you down, hopefully this can provide you some lifting up. Lastly, part of this is, as you know, we send out 20 plus packages a week to diabetics in need. And in our team meetings, we always talk about how can we make this so it's not a business, it's not a transaction. When you receive your supplies, we want it to feel like you're getting a package from a friend. Like, oh man, I don't feel alone in this. I know that I have people that have my back, and I will never be without supplies. But with that, I want to incorporate these people receiving a nice letter. So you can sign up to be the writer of this week, next week, a month from now's week, and literally just type out a letter. Hey, I hope these supplies got to you well. I hope you're having a great week. You're doing amazing. Stay strong. All that good stuff. You can submit that. We will download that, print that, and send it out to everybody who's receiving a package that week. And I think that'd be a really special way for the people who are receiving that package to feel loved, man, to feel like they're a part of this community and that they are not just a part of this system where they have diabetes and have to pay this money for the supplies that they didn't ask for or deserve. And I hope that it can just bring this community a little bit closer. Beyond signing up to get connected with a pen pal and receiving a letter of encouragement, if you want a way to give back, if you're looking to support Embrace but don't have the means to financially or don't have any supplies to send us, you can sign up to be a writer or an encourager. We like to call them encouragers. But you can be one of those people that see that list of issues or problems that person's going through and directly address them. You can become an encourager and motivate and lift these people up that need lifting up. If that is something you're good at, or maybe you don't have to be good at it. Maybe you are, just wanting to say, I hear you. I know I understand what's going on, but you got this. Hey, my pet passed away a couple months ago too, and this is how I went through it. If you are interested in supporting Embrace in that way and you want to be a writer or an encourager, you can sign up through the link in our bio as well. That'll be in the show notes, and that'll be in our link in our bio through TikTok and Instagram as well. So I really hope you wish to be a part of that. I'm really excited about this program, and I feel like it won't really work and won't really go off unless we get enough people to sign up to meet a pen pal or sign up to be an encourager. So I really hope that you are wanting to sign up. But yeah, that's the announcements that we have so far. Again, we have announcements lined up for the next rest of November. I think that's 3 more weeks. Again, our brand new guide, Ultimate Parent Survival Guide, coming out November 14th. Again, even if you don't have a parent and you want to support Embrace, it's only $10. And again, everything goes back to the Embrace Foundation and sending out more packages per week. But that's all I have for our announcements. Let's get into the show. Now, this week we're going to be talking about participating in sports and physical activities. All right, so this is one of those things where I feel like there's a lot of misconception around. I feel like when your child is diagnosed with diabetes, you're not exactly sure what physical activity looks like. You're not exactly sure if they can participate in sports and what that looks like. You have those worries of, man, are they going to get low during an event or practice? Are they going to get high during an event or practice? And first off, I want to tell you that they can participate in physical activities. They can participate in sports, and they can thrive in those things. And we're going to tell you exactly how to do it. So let's get into it. Again, last time I'll say this. This is coming directly from our guide coming out November 14th. All right, let's get into it. This chapter is called Game On, Participating in Sports and Physical Activities. Children with type 1 diabetes can participate in sports and physical activities, just like any other child. It is actually a huge misconception that people living with diabetes can't play sports or should avoid physical activity altogether, but tell that to people like Jay Cutler, Max Domi, Luke Kunin, Lauren Cox, Charlotte Drury, and countless other T1D athletes. However, participating in sports, physical activities can also pose some unique challenges for children with type 1 diabetes. Here are some tips for ensuring that your child can participate safely and confidently. Number 1, make sure your child's coach or instructor is aware of their condition and knows how to respond in case of an emergency. Encourage your child to wear a medical ID bracelet or other form of identification that indicates they have type 1 diabetes. This is not in the book, but if they are in something like, let's say, wrestling or swimming, this is not super important because your teammates and your coach should already know that you have diabetes if something were to happen. But this is more so if they join something like cross country when they're out and about and they are running around the city and things like that. And God forbid something happens, they have that medical ID bracelet. Next, make sure your child has access to a source of fast-acting carbs such as glucose tabs or juice in case their blood sugar drops during exercise. This one's super important. Again, this is me talking off the rip right now, but I did wrestling, cross country, and swimming throughout my high school career, and in swimming and wrestling, there was always moments where I would drop low, but I always had my juice, glucose tabs, or glucose gel right next to me, and glucose gel was a savior, man, because it didn't bloat me up. It didn't get me full to where I wouldn't be able to participate in the best way that I could. It was just a fast-acting, quick way. I'd need to take 15 minutes to the side, and I'd be good to go. So yeah. I don't know if I get into this later on, but always make sure that you go into the physical activity and sports a little bit above range. I think I talked about that in a previous chapter, but make sure that you're going, if your target range is 150, try to go in at a 180 range. That way, when you do physical activity, if you didn't know, it does drop your blood sugar a little bit. So that accounts for that. Next, consider using a CGM or other technology that can help track your child's blood sugar levels during exercise and alert you to any potential problems. Encourage your child to test their blood sugar before, during, and after exercise and to adjust their insulin doses and carbohydrate intake as needed. Be aware of the signs of high and low blood sugar and encourage your child to report any symptoms they may be experiencing to the coach if you are not there. By taking these steps, you can help ensure that your child can participate in sports and physical activities safely and confidently. It's important to remember that type 1 diabetes should not hold your child back from living an active and fulfilling life. Story time! I participated in cross-country, swim, and wrestling, and I rarely faced any issues in all of my years of participating in sports. I always made sure to check my blood sugar before and after practice or games/events, and that helped a lot. In cross-country, I ran with a fanny pack that had granola bars and glucose gel if I needed it during long runs, and always had a bag full of snacks nearby during swim and wrestling practice. My nickname was Sugar because my coach said I was allergic to it, quote-unquote. Of course, I was embarrassed a little at first when he said this in front of everybody that I actually ended up... Of course, I was embarrassed a little at first, but when he said this in front of everybody, but I actually ended up thankful he did so. Teammates knew me for my diabetes and respected me for having this condition and not letting it stop me from competing. I made a lot of friends on the team this way. I like telling that story because although your child may feel embarrassed or shy telling people they have diabetes, as I did, it can actually have positive outcomes. My teammates knew what was going on and would even check in on me throughout practice to make sure I wasn't low or high. So, we all have feelings of embarrassment, especially if you're younger. And my whole plan going into this thing, my mom told my coach, so that's how he knew. But my whole plan, I didn't know that. So my whole plan going into this thing was, I'm not going to tell anybody. I don't want any extra attention. I was a shy dude, man. I'm short now, but I was smaller then. I was in 9th grade, and I must have been 4'9", dude. I was tiny. I didn't want any extra attention. I just wanted to be in the shadows and run. Cross country was actually the first sport I participated in, and I didn't want to do it, but my parents pushed me to do it. And I'm grateful that they did. But yeah, my whole plan was to just, sneak by. But when my coach did that, he called me out in front of everybody at the end of practice. He was giving out nicknames, and he called me out, and everyone looked at me. I got super red. But the next day, everybody was calling me sugar. Everyone was like, in the best. We get into teasing a little bit later in this book, but people would tease me for it but in a weird way. I loved that, because the whole way I communicate now, even with my siblings, is we roast each other. We tease each other. So that is kind of like my love language in a weird way. So people would tease my little pump machine, or make jokes when I would test my blood sugar. But in that, they would always check in on me. They would always say, hey, we're about to go running. What's your blood sugar at? They would actually learn about diabetes along the way as well. And that actually broke me out of my shell, man. I started to make jokes too. I started to be myself, and that's all because of diabetes. So sometimes when you hide behind that embarrassment and you stay there, you'll never know what's on the other side. But when you face that embarrassing moment, you get called out, you tell people you have diabetes. I believe that there are so many great things beyond that. But yeah. Frederick's takeaway. Who says kids with type 1 diabetes can't be athletes? Just ask Jay Cutler, Max Domi, Pamela Fernandez, or the many other professional athletes living with T1D. With the right plan and preparation, your child can enjoy sports and physical activities just like any other kid. Now, that is the end of that chapter. We get more into physical activity as a whole in the previous chapter, and the next chapter is teamwork makes the dream work, building strong connections with teachers and coaches. So you may be like, oh, how do I go about this conversation with my child's teachers or coaches? Do I just say, hey, they have diabetes, good luck? What if they don't know what diabetes is, what that looks like, and what if they don't let them on the team because I have diabetes? You don't know. There's so many things that you might have your own overthinking thoughts on, but we tell you and map out exactly what you should say, how to go about it, how to prepare them, and how to make it work so you guys are actually a team and you guys have that open line of communication. Again, that's all in our guide. Coming out November 14th. So if you want more, you know where to get it. I advise you pre-order it, because you can get a full audio book for free. $10, that's a steal. So that's it for this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Quick, short episode. Happy National Diabetes Awareness Month. I'm so excited to be celebrating this with you. And this month is all about being proud and embracing your diabetes, being proud of what you go through every single day, day in and day out. And this is our time of celebration, man, and spreading awareness. So again, I really urge you to be a part of our Sincerely Your Diabuddy program. And I am excited to announce the rest of the announcements that are coming out this month. And I'm so excited to be on this journey with you. Thank you so much for listening. I will see you back here next week for another great episode. Have a great week. Happy National Diabetes Awareness Month.
Thanks for listening to another great episode of the Embrace Podcast. You can follow Embrace on Instagram at Embrace3Movement or on TikTok at Embrace3. If you or someone you know has diabetes and needs supplies, you can visit their website at theembracefoundation.org and fill out a supplies request form. We'll see you back here every other Wednesday for a fresh new episode of the show. Until then, embrace, endure, and overcome diabetes. You are not alone.